Hey all, this is Claudius Theo. I will be doing a review of the ANYCUBIC washing cure system. Let's get to it. I bought this machine very recently because it was quite tedious to be cleaning off my prints and afterwards curing them in some kind of cure box that I made with a dustbin and some UV lights. It was just not doing the trick and not doing the thing I needed it to. So out of the box, these are the items that are in it. Of course, the machine, we'll get back on that later concerning all the features that it has. You get a user guide. It's quite simple, but the machine is really only plug and play, so that shouldn't even be needed. You got a little service card. You have the tools, should you ever need to open the machine. I hope not. You have a sort of warranty pass, and you also have a bearing, and this is actually for the little disc on the inside. So that means if it's put on the machine, there's a bearing in it, and the bearing is for the rotor inside of the plastic vat in which you have the IPA as a cleaning solvent. Should this one ever wear out, you have an extra bearing just to replace it with. Then you have the adapters. These are specifically meant for the ANYCUBIC system, so for the Photon, Photon S. So not for other machines like, you might have noticed I have an Elegoo Mars. I love the ANYCUBIC items and machines they have. I also love the Mars. I'm not really picky. I love them both, and I think this is a very good match and also a very good set to use together. And lastly, you have the little basket to put your parts in. Of course, this is mandatory if you do not have an ANYCUBIC machine, because then these two won't fit, and you have to pull the print off your build plate and put it in the basket, and then put it into this little vat here. Okay, let's get right on to all the neat features that this machine possesses. So it is time to show you a little more about the options on this machine. As you can see here, we have two modes, wash and cure, thus the name of the machine. And you can switch between them with this mode button, which actually switches to wash, and you can switch back to cure. Pushing the start button will only make it beep because the lid is not on there. You can hear about that later on when I cover the lid. And also you have a stop button, which is actually to stop it mid-wash, mid-cure, should that ever be needed. And also you have a time button to switch between 2, 4 or 6 minutes, which is quite simple. So actually that's all that's to the machines and its options for the program, which is quite straightforward. Looking to the side of the machine, it's not very spectacular. There are two things here. The first one is the air vents and the on and off button. And on the back, first one is the ventilation. It's at the top. So I think it's for the UV curing lights to actually cool them down once they're on. The second one is the power inlet, which is quite obvious. Just plug it in there and start your machine. Then we have all the information concerning the machine, also with the serial number and looking at the power consumption, etc. And the last one is actually quite important. It's this little eye here. So why is this important? I think we have to switch over to the top now. So looking at the cover, the thing I want to show you is actually, let's make quite a lot of noise, is this little badge here. So this one is actually a reflecting light back to this little eye, which is a safety feature, and it's meant to actually check if the cover is on while you're curing or washing your print. If that is removed, I strongly advise against it. This will not function anymore, so you really need to leave it on. I think it's quite hideous, but it does the job. And make sure that your machine only runs when the lid is on. The other side of the machine, nothing spectacular, only a ventilation duct. Here is the base of the machine. As you can see, there's quite a big notch in it, which is actually perfect for the vat that is being delivered with the machine. And also inside there is a big magnet, which is actually going to turn around the propeller inside of the vat, which we will demonstrate later on. Here you have a notch, and if you look closely, it's cut out perfectly for this one. So this is for the curing table, which is actually going to turn around. If I would turn the machine on now on the cure setting, then this array of LEDs would turn on, the UV LEDs. This is actually 2 wavelengths. It's 405 and I think 380. I might be wrong though, but it should cover all of the UV resins and harden them quite well. And at the top you can see 2 things. The first one is actually the notch on the holder for the bracket of the basket. So I can put it in here. I just put the holders in there as well. And once the vat is on, you put this one in it with the print inside of this basket. It will just go start the cleaning process with the propeller, which is within the vat that will turn around, and then clean off all the resin residue of your print. At the top, you can see as the last pointer is actually the holder for the and then there's the lid. It's quite simple, just has a very nice ANYCUBIC logo on it. So for the next part of this review, I will be cleaning some of my prints. I will be doing this inside of this vat. Yeah, I do not know if it's called a vat or a bucket or whatever. I'll just go with vat for now. Sorry that it's so cloudy, which makes it quite hard to look at what is going on in there. But yeah, do you want to see the magic? Just look at all the other videos about this wash and cure system. You can see a very nice vortex building up in here, which goes all the way through your basket or up to your bill plate if it's on there. It looks quite nice, and it also cleans your prints very, very thoroughly. So I just popped these 2 prints off the build plate, and I will be putting them in this basket and then lowering them in this IPA cleaning fluid. Afterwards I will be starting the cleaning process for I think 4 minutes should suffice. Afterwards they will be very nice and clean. So the prints are in the basket, and I can lower it into the vat with the cleaning fluid. So as you can see, they've been lowered very nicely just above the propeller, which is going to create the vortex, and the cleaning should be done very nicely. Just as a demonstration, the lid is not on there, so if I'm going to start it right now, it's going to give me a very nasty beep tone. As you could hear, it was going to start the propeller, but then it just went into pause mode with a lot of beeping, which actually continues until you push stop. Now with the lid on there, there's nothing stopping me from actually starting this process, so let's get to it. As you can see, it starts turning very fast. And you can see it's creating a vortex. It's a little shift to the right. That's because the left print is very big, so it has to vert to the right side. And this will actually continue, I think, for 2 minutes. It's set to 4, but intermediate it stops and then starts again turning on the other way, which actually also cleans some notches which are not covered when it's turning to one way, but are going to be cleaned when it's turning to the other. So the 4-minute wash is done. Let's just get the parts out. Let it just drip there. Okay, let's get these dried, and then they can go back on the machine to be cured. So the vat with IPA has been changed out with this turntable for the UV light. Let me just get my prints. we go. And now we can put on the lid. It's time to change to cure. And since it's a very dark color of a print, I'm going to go with 6 minutes. Let's get started. As you can see, it's very intense lighting. The build plate is a little low, so looking to the side, you can see that just below here, at the bottom of the turntable, no lights are there. So I'm quite concerned that everything on the downside, so at the bottom, is not going to be cured well enough. So normally I would suggest doing another run afterwards with the prints on the side. That's actually where this adapter comes in. It will be coming right around the corner now. It's actually a riser. It's available on Thingiverse, and you can use it to rise the turntable plate just a little higher for those small prints to be fully cured in one run. Well then, both prints are cured and also stripped of any supports they had, and I must say they are perfect. So let's go to the summary of the pros and cons of this wash and cure machine of ANYCUBIC. So then it's time for my final verdict of the ANYCUBIC wash and cure system, its pros and cons and other thoughts. First of all, it's ANYCUBIC. They offer great service and quality products. Also, as you can see, this machine is great. It has all the features that are needed actually for normal washing and curing. No unneeded functions, just the pure basics, which is awesome. The second one is actually that it's very easy to use. You have a wash option, you have a cure option, and you have a timer. Nothing more is needed. Its third pro is actually it's great value for money. I bought this one off Amazon for £190. It was £200, but there was a £10 coupon. Yeah, for this pricing, it might seem a lot, but you get a lot of value for money. The fourth pro is that the vat comes with a lid, as you can see here. Yeah, this is just one of the most awesome options that come with this machine. You can safely store your IPA. It will not evaporate. It's in this lock and lock type of canister. Then also the fifth pro is the lid safety feature. As I mentioned before, if the lid is off, you cannot operate the machine. It will just not start, which is very neat. So there is no option to actually just say prematurely start the machine without having the lid on, which might not be as intended. So that's great. And the last one is, yeah, what's to say? It saves a lot of cleaning, a lot of spilling IPA, also a lot of cleaning up, because it's always a mess afterwards if you have used your 3 canister option that is used a lot of on the internet. And also no setting timer for your MacGyver curing system. Need I go on? Well, it's not only rainbows and sunshines, there are also a few cons, some are personally. One of those is actually that the writing is not all in English. This is no issue, because of course English is also on the description here. But yeah, there's also a foreign language. For me it's foreign. But yeah, it's I would have not put it in there, but as I said, it's personal, so still it's no problem. And the last one is, like I mentioned before, the LED array is set a little high, so the bottom of the turntable is not exposed to any UV light. This is easily fixed by this little adapter. Still need to clean it. But yeah, it's on Thingiverse. I will put the link in the description below. You can just check it out, adjust it and print it as you'd like. But that actually fixes the problem. Yeah, so that's actually the pros and cons. The other thoughts are, and it's a big one, there are quite a lot of adapters on Thingiverse. If your printer is not an ANYCUBIC printer, then these adapters, as you can see here, this bracket, It will not fit, but if you put an adapter on it, and this one is for my Lego Mars, will just fit very nicely on here. And then you're able to use your own build plate with this cleaning station. So do I advise to buy it? Yes, it's awesome. It's great. For $200, you can't go wrong. Save you a lot of time, a lot of cleaning. It's great. So thank you for watching this. Until next time.